Hey everyone, welcome back. Brandon and Ethan here again to discuss everything going on in the Cubs world. And obviously, pitchers and catchers have already reported to camp at the time of recording. The rest of the position players will be there soon. Obviously, spring training games starting in just a couple of weeks. One of the bigger stories that have come out of camp so far is, of course, that Javier Assad is the first pitcher and certainly not the last to get injured for the Cubs this year.
We're not even in spring training yet. I am so up in arms about this. We're not even in spring training officially yet, and we already have our first injury from a Cubs pitcher. I don't want to say it's 2024 all over again, but Brandon, and if you've been following us long enough, you know how storied I am when it comes to my frustration when it comes to and probably the fans too. The injuries when it comes to our pitchers. So again, it's just a mild oblique injury, and again, we're not even into the spring training season yet. But can't we just catch a break? Like, come on.
Yeah, I mean, to try to shine some light on this, or try to look at the bright side. One is that Javier Assad, he wasn't even ramped up, even close to being ramped up for the season. So, and it's a mild oblique strain, so this shouldn't keep him out for months. It should be a couple weeks. Obviously, we don't know the exact timetable, but it shouldn't be one of those injuries where he's sitting out till June, which thankfully. But also is that the Cubs, we talked a lot this offseason about, should they add like that ace pitcher? They were obviously trying to talk about, Dylan Cease for a while. Maybe they still get him. They tried to talk about Jesus Luzardo before he went to the Phillies. So we've talked a lot about that. But the one things the Cubs did a lot this offseason was add starting pitching depth. So the
Yes.
good news is that even if Assad is out for a while, we've got Ben Brown, Jordan Wicks, Colin Ray, Matthew Boyd. We have plenty of guys that are still healthy as of this point that are going to be able to step up at least until Javier Side's back.
Yeah, I'm knocking on wood on that one, Brandon. I really am because again, you've just named like a hit list for all those guys to really get out. But again, the more we think about this, the 2024 season, as unfortunate it was in the first probably 2 months that Justin Steele and I'm trying to think of who else got injured. It just seemed like so many people got injured, but Justin Steele, the first person coming to mind, because it was like in the second week of the season that he got injured. I think twice, in all honesty. Um, we got people that came up like Ben Brown. He didn't get injured, but Shota Imanaga was new to the Cubs, and we got an amazing season out of him. Like, pray to whatever deity is up there that he doesn't get injured this season. But again, it's the fact of we got so many new players came up in 2024, and again, they got that training in the MLB, and again, now that they went through the ringer in 2024, they get a full, course in 2025. And I'm very excited to see where it goes, especially again, like you mentioned, Ben Brown. I'm really rooting for him.
Yeah, we'll talk about some of these guys we're really excited for in 2025 in a future video. But just as it pertains to Assad, I think a lot of people have not written him off, but just sort of like he's been so consistently good for the Cubs for, since he stepped into the starting rotation at the end of the 2023 season. He's not an ace. He's not a guy that, you want taking the ball in game one of a playoff series, but he's been a really good number 4 or 5 starter. And so look, again, this injury shouldn't derail his season. He should hopefully have still enough time to get ramped up and still, whether he's a long man in the bullpen or he's like the number 5 starter, whatever the case may be. Um, it's just what I think you and and every Cubs fan from last year, we sort of know the snowball effect of these things.
Yeah.
It's just one injury right now. It's still mild. It's not a big deal, but these things add up quickly. And even with all the starting pitching depth the Cubs have, it can get depleted very quickly. So hoping for a quick recovery for Assad, and obviously would love to hear you guys' thoughts down below.
I completely agree. And one thing that I'll end on it too is that, like you said, things snowball. And I think if there's one thing that we can learn from 2024, it's specifically from somebody like Justin Steele, is like I said, he had 2 injuries in 2024 and they were kind of back to back. And so what you can learn from that is that if you have an injury, you take it easy. So hopefully going into 2025, our pitchers and our players just take it easy this time, guys. We're rooting for you, but come on, take it easy. All right.